Good evening. Good evening. I was just reading Gerald's comments there. Yeah, I can hear the applause all the way here, Gerald. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our late night moth check for Thursday, July the 6th, 2023. Beautiful night here in Cormierville, New Brunswick. About 70 degrees, no wind. It's clear. Good evening, Wolf. Good to see you again. Hi, Mary. Thanks for joining us. Nice to see you. Hi, Ginger. Got a few moths here, Ginger. Chloe and JB. Yay, you're here. Good to see you. I'm experimenting with another sheet tonight. I've got a sort of a beige colored sheet draped over the right hand side of the of the moth frame, and right away I'm seeing that there aren't many moths on it compared to the white portion of the sheet here. One of the things, the green sheet I had last night, this beige sheet, and the gray sheet I'll be trying tomorrow night. I just bought them at a used clothing store a couple of days ago. And it's a big chain of used clothing stores here in Eastern Canada called Frenchies. And I don't know what kind of detergent they use, but everything that comes out of their store smells has a pretty strong fragrance. We call it the Frenchie smell. And I don't know if that has an impact on the moths or not. If our washing machine isn't working, or I would have washed the sheets right away. But I need to take that into consideration when I'm deciding why the moths are not attracted to any particular sheet. Just give me a millisecond here while I slip on my elastic bands around my sleeves. Try to keep some of the insects out. All right, we're all set. Turn my light on here and we'll be in business. Well, I see there's a nice big sphinx moth here waiting for us. Right away. Okay, sorry about that. Somehow I pushed the home button and Siri started talking to me. So we've got a nice big sphinx moth here. It's our friend, the big poplar sphinx. It's one of our largest sphinx moths. Has a lot of pink on the underwing. Get it open far enough. And despite the name, poplar is just one of many species of trees that the caterpillar of this moth feeds on. Feeds on many, many deciduous trees, including birch, ash, looks like he's getting ready to fly. So poplar, birch, ash, oak. Alyssa, hi. Welcome. Big poplar sphinx. And this one, probably remember from other nights, the Baltimore snout moth. I'm just going to take a look at this micro moth here to see if I can figure out what this is. Doesn't ring any bells, this one. Oh, it could be. Yeah, it's our tricky old spruce budworm again. Spruce budworm moth. Here's one of our clear-winged moths again. One with the beautiful little orange tip on the abdomen, like little feathers. Now, I think this is called the maple callus borer. Maple callus borer, but it's in the family of clear-wing moths. They have very few scales on their wings. And he's off. Maple callus borer. Maple callus, C-A-L-L-U-S. Borer. That's it, Ginger. Except it's U-S and callus. Codling, or codling moth. Here we've got one of our slug moths. We saw one last night. It's probably the same species, yep. The early slug moth. And this pug moth here, I think it's a green pug. I think I'm seeing quite a bit of green in the wings there. Not sure who that is. Our big poplar sphinx is climbing up the shingles now. All right. Common gluphisia. We see pretty much every stream. What else do we have here of note? It's our budworm moth again. There's our maple callus borer once again. There's a green lace wing. I think there's some insect keeps walking on our lens. Let's take a look over here on the wall. Here's this is one we saw last night for the first time, and one of the key field marks for this species is just a little bit of orange right down at the bottom of the wings there. It's called the tufted thyateirid moth. Oh, here's a new one for us. It's a very common moth in the summertime, and I'm drawing a blank on the name. Thyateirid, that's right, Alyssa. Yeah, I'm going to have to pass on the name of this one. My brain isn't coming up with anything, but I know it's a very common moth. I've seen it many, many times before, but just can't recall it at the moment. Hi, Bill. Thanks for popping in. Got a nice crowd here, like you say. Good to see you. I don't know if you're still on vacation or not, but if you are, enjoy it. And we'll see you again soon. I think I got the message that you were not staying, so I'm not trying to chase you off. This is an angle moth of some kind. I think it's one that's called the pale marked angle moth. This one is red-footed snout moth. It's a bit worn, this one. Red-footed snout moth. That's a caddisfly there with the long antenna. The pug moth, I think it's another green pug moth. Here's a brother moth. There's an ichneumon wasp. Keeps walking over the lens. This is the brother moth. There, got some light on it. Let's see who's on this. Well, here's our Virginia tenuchid moth. We've been seeing lots of recently. Virginia tenuchid. That's another one we've seen a few times. It's in the genus Hydrelia, Hydrelia, Hydrel, Hydrelia, Hydrelia. Here's a nice looking silver spotted fern moth. You can see why it's so named. Silver spotted fern moth, and the larvae do feed on ferns. There's some generalist moths that feed on a host of different species of ferns, and every species of fern seems to have its own species too that only feeds on that species of fern. Another angle moth there. Oh, here's something different. Darn, that one flew off. I'll be able to identify that when I play back the stream and take a screenshot of it. But just don't recall the name right away. Here's a nice one we haven't seen before. I think the genus is Metanema, M-E-T-A-N-E-M-A, Metanema. Oh, he's gone. And I believe that one's called the pale Metanema. Oh, look at this huge click beetle here. This is a kind of a special species of click beetle because of the amazing antenna that it has and its size. It's really, really large for a click beetle. It's one of the largest click beetles in the world. I've seen it a few times before, and I know it's not very common, but I don't remember the name. It's easy to identify because of those distinctive antennae. Now this one's on the beige. We're looking at the beige sheet, and to my eyes, on the screen of my iPad, it doesn't look beige at all. It looks white, quite white. Not quite sure why that is. Neat, nice click beetle. Here's a more normal sized click beetle right here. So that's sort of an average size for a click beetle. Oh, the big one's gone. Glad we saw it when we did. Here's an arched hook tip. And our good friend, the banded tussock moth. Sorry, did I miss a question there? How long is he? That beetle, the big click beetle, would have been about twice the length of this one. This one, my fingernail is, I think, 12 millimeters wide, or 13. So This beetle would be about 20 millimeters long. 40 millimeters, I guess, or 35, around 1.5 inches for the large click beetle. Here's a nice little micro moth. Kind of an interesting pattern. Don't know the name of this one, but I can find it easily. Who else is down here on? Oh, there's a sphinx moth. This is one-eyed or a twin-spotted. So let me get repositioned here. I think this is the one that has the whitish veins, and which would make it the one-eyed sphinx moth. We'll just take a look at the underwings. One eye, as opposed to the twin-spotted that has two eyes. Those two are really closely related and fairly similar. Nice fresh one. Most of the one-eyed sphinx we've seen recently have been quite worn. I've got to stand up here, sorry. My knee's giving out on me. Here's a laurel sphinx. Didn't even know that was there. Laurel sphinx moth. We saw a couple of these, I think 2 nights ago. A nice, good size sphinx moth. I think the larvae feed on laurel. We have 2 species of laurel that grow in our bogs here, the bog laurel and the sheep laurel. I believe sheep laurel is poisonous to sheep. Not sure who would put their sheep in a bog. Actually, sheep laurel grows in a lot of acidic soil situations. Ooh, nice pattern on the abdomen. Take a look from below. Beautiful moth. Laurel sphinx moth. Banded tussock moth. Other banded tussock. It's interesting how the camera keeps adjusting the light. Trying to figure out how to expose. There's our old friend, the tufted bird-dropping moth. Amazing pattern on this moth. Some pale greens and little touches of blue. Tufted bird-dropping moth. Flame-shouldered dart. Somebody hiding here. Oh, flew away. Who's this? Oh, this is our olive angle shades. Another beautiful moth. Some pink, touches of green. Olive angle shades. Getting a little bit worn. And pieces of the forewing on the right missing. If you have headphones on, you're probably hearing the great blue herons in the background. Up here on the wall is another tufted bird-dropping moth. Cestia C. nigrum that we see every night. I don't think this one has a common name, so we're going to have to come up with one because we're seeing it all the time. Oh, sorry. Getting some big moths in my neck. All right, back over to the white. This one, what are you? I think this is a otter spirometer that we've seen before. Once. Otter spirometer. Great blue herons calling. That's it, Ginger. That was a different looking sphinx moth that just popped into our view and disappeared right away. I think it might have been a new sphinx for us. The gallium sphinx, also known as bed straw hawk moth. Hopefully it'll come back. Baltimore snout moth. What is this? Not a leaf hopper. Where'd it go? I think this is a spittle bug. Pretty sure this is a meadow. It's not a leaf hopper. It's a meadow spittle bug. They're related to leaf hoppers, but they're in a separate family. And they're the insects that make little balls of white spit that you see in the grass sometimes. That's where they lay their eggs, and their larvae hatch out in the spittle and live there while they're developing. This one's called the meadow spittle bug. And there's what is this one? Not sure. It's one of the loopers. I think it's in the genus. This one I think is in the genus Autographa. Auto, A-U-T-O, Grapha, G-R-A-P-H-A. Autographa. Not sure of the species, but I probably can figure it out. There's a neat little cochillid moth down here, this beige and brown one. Cochillid, C-O-C-H-Y-L-I-D, cochillid. That's the name of the family. It's in the Cochillidae. This green one is, again, this isn't a leafhopper, although it's colored like one. Just don't remember what family it is. The other night we saw one of these and I was thinking it was a plant hopper, but I don't think it is a plant hopper. So unknown for now. This is an angle moth of some kind. This one, not sure. I think it's in the genus Pococera, but I'm not sure. That one. Here's one that we hadn't seen before. This is called the pale glyph. Pale glyph, G-L-Y-P-H. Here's a three-line balsa. Somewhere. There you are. Three-line balsa that we see every night. Ginger missed the one before. I can't even remember. Oh, it was this one. The pale glyph. G-L-Y-P-H. I think that was the one before. Gerald, you sure you're watching the right stream? Kudos for all this wobbling and shaking. Got to figure out a way to hold the iPad more steady. Okay, here's the one we just looked at a few moments ago that I think is in the genus Autographa. It's a little bit better light. And I should be able to come up with a name for this one, a species. Beautiful pattern. Anyway, Gerald, thanks. Thanks very much. Here's a little ichneumon wasp of some kind. It's a female with an ovipositor. She doesn't want to sit still. A mayfly. Looks like a species of mayfly we've seen before. Not rose, but arched hook tip again. Gerald, I don't know. You're asking if anyone else does this. I've been asking around. I've been trying to find a moth live stream on YouTube, and I just can't seem to find one. There's got to be. I would have thought there'd be dozens of them. I mean, there are really thousands of people in North America that are into moth watching, and even more in Europe. But can't seem to put my finger on a live stream moth watch anywhere in the world. But I'm sure there are some out there. I just haven't found them on YouTube. That's an angle moth of some kind. I was talking with Leonard Poxon, who's one of our viewers, and very keen photographer of insects in Lancashire in the UK. And he mentioned he might try to find somebody who would be willing to do a live moth stream from the UK. So that would be nice. Assuming they do it 10 or 11 o'clock at night in the UK, that would be good timing for us here, since where I am is 4 hours earlier, where many of you are would be 5 hours earlier. So the early evening, late afternoon for most people in North America. This is one we looked at earlier, and I still haven't come up with a name for it. But I'll get a name. Oh yeah, we looked at this one a while ago while I was talking, and I didn't give you a name, probably because I'm not sure what it is. I think it's in the genus Apamea. Apamea, A-P-A-M-E-A, Apamea. Good night, Wolf. Thanks very much for joining us. Have a good night. I'll see you again soon. Thanks again. Apamea genus, yes. Oh, here's a large yellow underwing, and it just flew. Oh, he's right here. Large yellow underwing. It's flown again, flown again, flown again. Moving all over the sheet here. Oh, there he is. Let's see if he'll stay put this time. There he is. Large yellow underwing. This moth is introduced from Europe and is pretty common. Often you'll see them during the daytime even on lawns. They're sort of considered a pest of lawns. I'm not sure how they could be a pest of lawns, but that's the reputation they have. And he's off. Large yellow underwing. This is a new one for us. Oh, it's flown. Here it is. It's a common moth in the summertime, and the name's escaping me right now, but I'll have it eventually. Yeah, part of the British invasion is right. We have, oh, here's a nice moth. I don't see very often. This little one here. Darn. Darn, it's gone. Not sure where it went. That little one is not a very common moth, and its common name begins with Diana. It's called Diana's, I think it's Diana's choreutis. Choreutis is Choreutis. Choreutis, Choreutis. Diana's choreutis. Just look at this again in case the name pops into my head, which could happen easily any second here. This is a really common day-flying moth. Don't see very many at night, but you see all kinds of them during the day. Grassy areas. Here's another unicorn prominent, like we saw last night. This one's laying pretty flat. This is the one I was telling you, sometimes they can almost stand up perpendicular to the substrate they're on. Unicorn prominent. Some nice greenish tones around the head. And the pale patch on the wings out near the wingtips on what you see from the sides is kind of pinkish or salmon colored, I guess. Here's a green leuconicta that we've seen quite a few of recently. Right here, green leuconicta. That's it, Ginger. Good job. I see the word decaf just popped into the chat, so that probably means that Dan is here. Dan, Dora, and Decaf. How are you tonight? If you're there. The time sync. I see you. Decaf is locked onto the stream. Birdies you can't have. But moths are great toys. Yeah, our cat feels the same way. I keep hearing great blue herons in the background. I don't know if anyone else is hearing them, but there seems to be a pretty constant stream of them coming and going into the cove tonight. We're just right beside the cove. This is a maple looper moth, which is a new one for us. It's a very common summer species. Larvae do feed on maple. For some reason, there are very few caterpillars of moths that feed on maple. There must be some chemical in the maple that repels them. And another tree that rarely has any insect pests is cedar. Maple looper moth. Tons of them. I think we were disconnected, but I believe we're back now. At least my screen told me we were disconnecting. Everything okay, Ginger? Yes, okay. Where was I going here? I see our big poplar sphinx is hiding in here now. We saw earlier. A silver spotted fern moth hiding in here somewhere. Oh, it's right there. Silver spotted fern moth we saw a bit earlier on the sheet. Those spots in this particular light look very white. In other lights, they are shiny silver. I hear a big moth. I see a big moth. I think we have a polyphemus. Not sure where it went. Tufted bird dropping moth again. Our laurel sphinx is still here. There's a banded tussock moth. Here's our laurel sphinx. Oh, big moth on my neck. Oh, it's a fish fly. This here fish fly is crawling up my neck. Oh, here's a nice, what do we call it? Azalea. Azalea sphinx moth. Beautiful. We've seen this once before, maybe twice. Azalea sphinx moth. They feed on members of the rhododendron family. The caterpillars do. For size, on our old white sheet, remember that the bands are sort of like darker and lighter bands. They're 11 millimeters wide. White banded tooth carpet up there. And I just learned that that species feeds on bed straw, which is one of the commonest plants in our yard. A white banded tooth carpet moth. Was there a Virginia tenuta? I didn't even notice it. There's so many things flying around here, I don't know which way to look. This is a brother moth. And what's this one? Not sure. She would stop moving. I think it's a black zigzag. Pretty sure that was a black zigzag moth that we've seen quite a few times. How are we doing for time? 50 minutes. All right, we have 10 minutes. This is the moth in the genus Apamea that we saw before. That I just don't know what species it is at the moment. This is the one I keep thinking I'm going to remember the name, but I haven't yet. Here's one of the pink-barred glyphs that we had seen, but haven't one recently. Pink-barred glyph on. Oh, here's our little Diana's Cherudis moth, if we can get some better light on it somehow. A really small moth. I don't think it's classified as a micro moth. It's a macro moth, but it's one of the smallest species of macro moths. Sorry, I just can't get better light. There's a leaf hopper. I wonder if there are other leaf hoppers here. Let's see. Well, this is a spirea leaf tear that feeds on the spirea, the bush spirea that a lot of people have growing in their yards. Flew away. Beautiful ground beetle, nice green iridescence. That was a, oh, there's a rove beetle. Funky, really strange looking rove beetle. Remember, rove beetles only have elytra over part of their abdomen. So they have very short elytra, very short wings compared to most beetles. That's a rove beetle, Ginger, like to rove around. I'm a rover. What was I going to show you here? Sure. Tufted bird dropping moth. Got one right here. And another one there. It's a nice ichneumon wasp. Interesting pattern on its wings. This is a female with the ovipositor on the end of its abdomen. They deposit the eggs into some soft substrate. Don't know what that was. It didn't ring any bells at all. I'll have to look at it on the playback because it flew off. Here's a, well, he flew. Looks like an Asian lady beetle. They're extremely variable. They have no spots at all. Some have many spots. Some are all dark. It's a green leuconicta right by the beetle there. The green is washed out by the camera. Okay, just a couple of minutes left here. There's our big pup sitting down here. So big poplar sphinx. Here's our azalea sphinx. And our laurel sphinx. And our one-eyed sphinx. So we have four species of sphinx moth at the lights right now. So I guess that's a good way to end. Of course, I've got to take another last look. It's a large yellow underwing, just flew off. A banded tussock moth stayed. Here's a Isabella tiger moth. I've seen a few times. Got an orange abdomen with black spots on top. Don't know if she's going to show us. There's the abdomen with black spots and the hind wing, black spots. Isabella tiger moth. Oh, here's an Isabella spread out for us. Oh, sorry, I had a mosquito in my ear. What a beauty. All right, well, 59 minutes, 22 seconds. Here's a lettered habrocine on the cord. We've seen a few of these. Amazing pattern. If you look at the zigzag lines there in the wings. For some reason I always think of lobster when I see this moth. I guess because of the tail. Maple callus borer. All right, well, our time is up for tonight. Please, if you haven't already, hit the like button if you don't mind. If you liked it, that is. And thank you so much, everybody, for dropping by. Hope you enjoyed it, and probably be doing it again tomorrow night. Today was high temperature of 81 Fahrenheit here, but with the humidity, the humidex was 99 Fahrenheit, and it's supposed to be exactly the same tomorrow with actually 100 Fahrenheit humidex, and Saturday and Sunday exactly the same temperature. So we have put in a hot humid day, and we have 3 more coming, then a little bit cooler on Monday, but not much. And just an update on Joe. I've had a couple of emails from Joe today. Thank you, Gerald. I've told a few people this, that Joe's managing. His vision is not improving much. He's having a lot of trouble seeing well, so he isn't chatting. He has trouble seeing the chat on YouTube. He's been trying to watch a few streams. He's expecting to have an MRI tomorrow or Monday, the latest news. I didn't really ask him if he thought his vision was going to improve. I mean, he's very disappointed that it hasn't already. So I'm not sure what the prognosis is. And he's doing his best, taking care of his wife, Patricia, as best he can. They're getting a lot of help from family and some friends. Joe is frustrated that he can't do the things he would normally do, like go and help all his neighbors and mow lawns and do things like that. But he's coping. And he's really touched by all the care that people have shown here on the stream. I've told him about everybody's comments. He, of course, received the card that we sent last week. And he's very, very grateful for everybody's best wishes, and he's looking forward to the day he can thank you in person on YouTube. Anyway. Yes, I'll tell him that we miss him, Ginger, and he certainly knows that. So thanks again, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow on the live stream, or tomorrow night at the Moth Watch, or sometime soon. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.